Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's debate around the question, is electric cars the better solution for the future compared to traditional gasoline cars? Let's welcome our affirmative debater, Elon Musk.
Hello, everyone. I will share with you my vision for the future of electric cars.
And our negative speaker, Jeremy Clarkson.
Some people might say that electric cars are the future, but let me tell you folks, I'm not so sure. The positives of electric cars are like a mirage in the desert. They look promising from a distance, but once you get closer they disappear.
Seems like the debate is heating up very quickly. Let's start with the first topic, performance of cars.
Let's face it, electric cars just don't have the same range as gas-powered cars. They might be fine for driving around town, but what happens when you want to take a road trip? You're going to be stopping to recharge every few hundred miles, and that's just not practical. Might as well just take a horse-drawn carriage, and even when you do stop to recharge, it's not like it's a quick pit stop like at a gas station. No, charging an electric car takes time, and let's not forget that there just are not enough charging stations out there. Sure, you might be able to find one in a major city, but what about when you're out in the middle of nowhere? Think about the cultural impact on our RC friends down under. Electric vehicles aren't going to get in the rural, arid deserts. Might as well just set up camp and wait for the next ice age at night, so that face the facts, folks, and accept that electric cars still have a long way to go before they can truly be considered a viable alternative to gas-powered cars.
Well, however, if we look at the increase of average range across the past years, the technology on increasing the range of electric vehicles has improved significantly. In 2017, the average range of electric vehicles was 243, which improved to 349 in 2021, a 44 increase in 4 years, and 152 increase relative to a decade ago.
Well, what about all the time we spent waiting for those cars to recharge? If I ran out fuel with my gasoline vehicles, I could just drive to any charging station, and it would take me less than 5 minutes to refill fully. What about your all-electric vehicles? Slow charging time of typically 3 kilowatts took 8 to 10 hours to charge it. Even the most rapid charging electric vehicles, rated from 43 kilowatts, will take 30 to 60 minutes to charge. Time is money, Elon, especially for a busy person like you. Where were you 5 minutes?
For most people on their daily tasks, charging an electric vehicle one time a day is very acceptable and less inconvenient than a gasoline car. Also, it has called inductive charging system, which powers an electric vehicle from underneath the road while the vehicle moves, are being developed. Imagine if this gets implanted, no more time waiting to refill, which was
Hold on, all these thoughts are still a plan, but that future still seems very far away from me.
You go back a few hundred years, what we take for granted today would seem like magic. Anything is possible in the future.
Wow, thanks for the inspiration from Musk here. It seems like although electric vehicles still have a lot of space for improvements, the current technologies on electric vehicles is progressing very fast, and weaknesses such as range can potentially be overcome. With more investments towards electric cars, the likelihood of electric car being more convenient is possible. Let's now move on to the next topic. Are electric cars more economically viable, or are gasoline cars still the cheaper option?
Now, some might say that electric cars are the future, that they're environmentally friendly and efficient. But let's not forget that without more investments in charging infrastructure, they're about as practical as a chocolate teapot. Sure, there might be a handful of charging stations in major cities, but what about the suburbs or rural areas? And don't get me started on the price. It's a topic that's sure to get the blood boiling and the wallets emptying. At current time, even a whole installation of inductive charging equipment will cost at around $3,500. The cost of implementing cars to all roads is unimaginable.
True. However, from a personal perspective, buying an electric vehicle can be cheaper compared to buying a gasoline car due to government grants. Plus, the refilling fees of electric vehicles are much less than gasoline cars. Electric vehicle per leasing and charging would cost $800 per year. Petrol would cost.
However, as number of people buying electric cars increase, surely the grants will decrease, and by that time the costs of electric vehicles would be more expensive than gasoline cars.
Although building new charging stations can be costly, the reality is these costs are sustainable, especially given the additional environmental benefits. The Victorian government has announced a $3,000 subsidy for the first 20,000 electric vehicles sold at a price under $6,200 over the next specified period. They will direct to the to a running course base, it's
The comparison of costs on electric vehicles and internal combustion engines is also a complex question and can have many perspectives. Let's now move on to the environmental and ethical considerations of electric vehicles versus internal combustion engines. Since in the end, the environment of our world matters and the enhancing global warming effect forces humans to face the problem of our carbon footprint.
Well, electricity is a renewable resource, while gasoline cars, on the other hand, is fossil fuels, which are a non-renewable resource and with carbon dioxide. So electric cars are much more efficient, and I would show that to
I mean, sure that they're supposed to be eco-friendly, but let's think about it for a second. First of all, what about the production process? All those batteries and electric motors have to come from somewhere, and it's not like they're made from unicorn tears and fairy dust. No, the reality is that producing all those components for electric cars actually has a pretty significant environmental impact. But I guess we're just supposed to ignore that because electric cars are green. And what about the batteries themselves? Sure, you can recycle them, but that process also has its own environmental impact. And let's not forget about the fact that a lot of the materials used in those batteries are actually sourced from countries with less than stellar human rights records. 60% of cobalt world's supply comes from Congo, where unregulated mines could use children as young as 7 as minors. And let's not forget about the electricity that powers these cars. I mean, sure, some of it might come from renewable sources, but a lot of it still comes from fossil fuels. So, in reality, you're just shifting the pollution from the tailpipe to the power plant, but I guess that's okay because electric cars are saving the planet.
There's no doubt that these ethical concerns are valid. We strongly advocate for the safe, ethical, and sustainable obtaining of lithium for electric batteries. Over time, this will change. Predicted that we will run out of fossil fuels in the century, so if we do not keep developing renewable energy.
Overall, in today's debate, we discuss the advantages and disadvantages of electric cars and gasoline cars from the perspectives of performance, cost, and environmental impacts. In the end, who do you think is the winner of today's debate?
Well, I think at the end of the day, in terms of cost, the reduced running cost and the maintenance cost of electric vehicles far outweigh the potential negative image associated with a higher price tag. Meanwhile, it is abundantly clear that electricity is a more environmentally friendly source of energy. Nonetheless, this debate has allowed us to see that the biggest problem with electric power is where it sources from. Is this from the burning of coal, or energy obtained from solar panels? Is lithium for the batteries obtained ethically? Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to the individual. However, if we want to start moving in the right direction towards environmentally sustainability, electrical power is a step in the right direction.